the King's Highway. I'm not going to please. Hey, what is going on here? We just want you. What's the problem? Guys, excuse me. We're trying to put him behind the. Hey, that's my guy. That's my guy. Stop.
David Menzies for Rebel News here at the Ontario Court of Justice in downtown Toronto. And folks, what seemed like the never-ending story, well, it has finally come to an end. And what I'm speaking of, you may recall back in March, my cameraman Efren Monsanto and I, we attended a Justin Trudeau fundraiser at the King Edward Hotel on King Street. Now, by that I mean we're not going to be allowed to get into the hotel, Justin Trudeau being Justin Trudeau, but there was a large pro-Hamas demonstration outside the fundraiser, and we thought we would go down and find out what those folks had to say. Well, nothing new. Openly chanting for genocide of the Jewish people. So it's the same old, but here's a twist of the story. When I went over to some of the members of the Hitler Youth Movement to ask them some questions, well, I never got a chance to because members of the Toronto Police Service arrested me. Here, check it out.
This is the King's Highway. I'm not going to please. Hey, what is going on here? We just want you. What's the problem? Guys, excuse me. We're trying to put him behind the. Hey, that's my guy. That's my guy. Stop. Public safety, you have to say. You take care of the.
Stay back, guys. Stay back. Hey, stay back.
Yeah, so the official charge was obstruct police. There was obstruction, all right. It was the police obstructing me. Apparently, it looked like just for me having the temerity to maybe ask an impolite question, which would further enrage the mob, that makes me a criminal in the eyes of the Toronto Police Service. It's absolutely incredible. It's as though the Toronto Police Service has its own pre-crimes unit. Remember the fictional movie Minority Report, in which you would be pre-arrested if the authorities thought you were going to commit a crime? And it's staggering. A member of the independent media gets arrested on a trumped-up charge, yet the pro-Hamas hooligans, they chant genocide and they get coffee and Timbits delivered to them by the cops. Just astonishing. Now, this was my third appearance at the court. Each time the police, or the Crown, I should say, needed more time for disclosure. What do you need more time for? You see the video. Don't trust our video. The police that arrested me had body cam video. The video does not lie. There was no crime committed. And it's kind of funny, when I was in the courtroom, I was looking at the docket. There were people there for break and enter, armed robbery, assault with a weapon, but apparently being a member of the independent press, potentially asking insensitive questions, you're right up there with those badasses. Unbelievable. And I should make note, folks, that since the calendar year of 2024 began, I was arrested 3 times by law enforcement within the space of 4 months. The first time, you might recall, it was at the Richmond Hill Performing Arts Center. We were there to cover a vigil for the victims of the Ukrainian airliner that was shot down some 4 years ago by the IRGC. And when I went up to Chrystia Freeland to find out why the IRGC is not on the terror list, well, here's what happened.
Why is your government supporting Islamo-Nazis? What? Excuse me. What are you doing?
You're under arrest for assault.
Why
are you pushing me? You're under arrest for assault.
Who are you?
You're under arrest for assault.
Police, you're under arrest for assault. How am I under arrest? You bumped into me.
You pushed into me.
You bumped. I was just scrubbing. I got my credentials here, and you just bumped into me.
Okay, so that was Lincoln J and I back in Richmond Hill in January. Then I already discussed what happened to me in March. And then literally across the street from the Ontario Court of Justice at Toronto City Hall, I was arrested on April 7th when I was trying to cover a vigil, 6-month vigil for the victims of the October 7th massacre in Israel. It was being led by Pierre Poilievre of the Conservative Party. There were more than 2,000 people in the square that day. If you can imagine, the pro-Hamas types, they had the audacity to crash that vigil and chant genocide. And when I went over there to try and ask questions why they were there, well, this is what happened.
Watch your hands. Watch your hands. Mr. Menzies.
Obey your oath, officer. Obey your oath.
Israel, I don't know.
Will you get? Listen, if I'm on the other arrest, get your hands off. Okay, then I'll. Okay, put your phone down. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest for refusing to leave. Okay? Refusing to leave the wagon, Mr. Menzies.
Yeah, and the charge this time, it wasn't obstruct police, it was trespassing. Can you believe it? Trespassing in what is literally the town square that was occupied by more than 2,000 people, some of whom were acting violently and chanting genocide, but I was the problem. I wonder if the next time I'm at a pro-Hamas demonstration, folks, and I get pre-arrested, I wonder what the charge is then. We've had obstruct police, trespass, with the Mountie it was assault, another stitch-up bogus charge. Well, hey, why not grand theft auto? It just makes as much sense to me as any of the others. But this is a victory. The Crown said in the courtroom there was simply no reasonable prospect of conviction. Well, no kidding. And here's the thing. That was the case back in March, and it's the case now in late May. What took so long? It is almost as though the process is the penalty. I don't have time to repeatedly be coming down to the Ontario Court of Justice to defend myself against bogus charges, but that indeed is the penalty in and of itself, isn't it, folks? It is the time we spend here, and not to mention our legal fees. And on that note, if you can help me out, please go to standwithdavid.com. That's standwithdavid.com. We are sick and tired of being harassed. We've already filed our lawsuit against the Mounties for what happened to us in January. And now that this charge is out of the way, and the trespassing charge will likely be out of the way come August, we are going on the offensive. We are going to sue the Toronto Police Service for repeatedly infringing upon our charter rights. But it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of money. So if you feel, as we do, that we got to take a stand for justice, please help us out. Again, contribute whatever you can at standwithdavid.com. So to wrap things up, so far, 2 victories. It was the Mountie himself back in January that dropped his own charges within 45 minutes. I guess he saw some video evidence of what he did. And we will be tackling the trespass charge when that next comes up in August. And folks, if there's any kind of unspoken political agenda here, let me assure you, Rebel News is not going to bend the knee. We're still going to go out and get you the other side of the story. We're still going to ask those uncomfortable questions. And really, when I speak of an unspoken political agenda, a few months ago, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau had a meeting with Toronto Police Chief Myron Demkiw. Why? The chief does not answer to the Prime Minister. What was said in that meeting? Was it to go easy on the pro-Hamas thugs that presumably the Liberals are going to chase as a demographic in the next election, whenever that will be? And maybe while you're at it, if there's any pesky independent media types asking, insensitive questions, throw the book at them. Sorry, the Charter overrules the Prime Minister. We are going to continue to go out there. We are going to continue to report. And now we go on the offensive. And but one last final thought, folks. We back the blue. Without the police, what do we have? We have anarchy. We have chaos. But there are indeed bad apples on the police force. And maybe it's a case, too, of the brass ordering the rank and file to carry out a political agenda. That we cannot stand for. So stay tuned. More reports to come. Rebel News will not be scared away into covering those stories that, well, the mainstream media doesn't want you to know about. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, our fight against the injustice we're enduring by law enforcement while we're reporting is just getting started. Please help us out. Go to standwithdavid.com. That's standwithdavid.com. Any contribution you can make would be gratefully appreciated.